Welcome to the Dairy Raid. Presented with over 20 years of coaching experience, the Dairy Raid provides commentary and analysis of the schemes, the players, and the coaches who create Wisconsin football's new identity. Now here's your host, Ryan Anderson.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dairy Raid and the first quarter of Wisconsin versus Northwestern. Sorry this is coming out a bit late, but after I finished the Rutgers breakdown and started working on Western breakdown, I had OBS, my recording software, kept crashing, reinstalled, all this. Finally got it to work. Here we are. We're going to try to get this done. Always tough for the Badgers to go into Evanston. These games are always weird. Something goes wrong. It's never quite comfortable. It doesn't matter how good the Badgers are or how bad Wildcats are. It always ends up like that. And we came away with a solid victory. So let's look at the film and see how it happened. All right, so here we go. 1st and 10. All right, so the Badgers come out in a 3-by-1 set, offset to the side, and coming out throwing, running curls, flaring the back on a bubble to one side, running the tight end to the flat on the other side, and we're just working across the field. And for right now, it looks like we're working backside up to the front, falling sitting over the middle of the ball. I like last couple weeks that Badgers have come out throwing. Went play action and against Purdue and Rutgers. And here, just a simple concept, trying to find a hole in the zone. Northwestern looking like they're running cover 3 here. Find the hole. Not a bad start. 2nd and 1. Always low 2nd and short. So many opportunities in 2nd and short because no matter what happens, at worst you come back with 3rd and short. But the Badgers just go, let's just go get the first round. Let's make this simple. All right, so they come out, they're running center guard lead. So normally, we'll go to the box angle for this. They've been doing the last few weeks is whenever they're running these two-man power schemes, first guy coming out would be looking to kick out. Second guy coming through would be leading. But what we have here, because of how Northwestern's ends are really squeezing down on the down block, kind of going back to what we did in the previous weeks, where we're going to come and try to wrap up here, and then we're also going to try to come and wrap up behind it. So Renfro is going to look to control the outside shoulder of 41 here, while Milkowski leads upfield. So let's take a look at it from this angle. Exactly what we get. So 41's really squeezing down, trying to get inside. Nice job by Renfro. Control him. Milkowski picks up first body he sees. We do end up with an unblocked lineman or a linebacker because as 41 is squeezing, what we'd actually be having here is Malman would actually be linebacker. He gets squeezed too much, trips over runner, but we get a solid game. Every other run play, Malman's on the or that's not Malman, that's Jack Nelson. Sorry. Doesn't matter. Either one of our tackles. All right, here we go. 3-by-1. Play action. Take the shot. Like the idea of taking the shot. Again, you want to test the top of the defense and set the top of the defense from the beginning. Protection is solid off the play action. And we're going to take advantage of this later, that Northwestern is really dropping out in coverage on down. Right idea? I'd maybe go a little bit more back shoulder. Since they're running cover 3, get a little bit of a stutter there. Space to sit it in. But I'll take the shot. Oh, 2nd and 10. By 2, 12 personnel. DH lead. Same thing. First defender through, or first blocker through, is going to control 41. Second blocker coming through is going to pick up a linebacker. And the tackle is made here by a safety coming from the 3rd level. No blocking scheme is going to account for 3rd level defenders. So that's up for the back. Make somebody miss. And while he doesn't make a miss, certainly falls forward. Take a quick look at the box. All right, so Huber. We got Huber. Top there. Work to turn 41. Milkowski coming through, hitting the linebacker, 37. And we're seeing what we tried to see on the last one, where Jack Nelson is trying to block down and then release here. This defensive tackle here is actually sitting in the gap. That can make this double down a little bit harder, but get a little bit lower. Slingshot off of his hip, get to the next level. It's picked up pretty solidly. 6 does a good job coming downhill. But we're in a manageable 3rd and 5. So we're going to use motion here, just a little bit of eye candy, just to see how they react. So we're going to get man. And so this really looks like this is going to Vinny Anthony the whole way. But when we take a look at the end zone angle, what actually ends up happening is throws it in such a tight window that Vinny doesn't see it. Also, Pauling doesn't realize it's not going to him. It's not going to him. This is going to Vinny Anthony the whole way. See his head readjust. All right, so let's take a look here. Looking to throw it very tight window. If he lets this open up a little bit longer, and you can see he's looking at a spot, and he sees the spot opening up. And what ends up happening is it catches Vinny Anthony by surprise. Now, if he lets this develop a little bit longer and let the traffic clear, wide open. If he throws it here instead of here, and he knew he almost had it. That was a big play in the making. But anyways, it is what it is. Forces a punt. And that's the end of the first drive. But Badger defense played solid all weekend. So come back without any points on the board for Northwestern. Coming out here, DT lead. Okay, Huber digging out defensive end. Ballman leading. Pretty good job here pushing the pile. Again, having issues with this 3 tech. Not letting our play side linemen get to the second level. So we end up getting another unblocked. Again, it's a safety, but the angle the linebacker takes makes it real tough for Ballman to get him upfield or to get him kicked out. So this would have developed a little bit better if we could get that play side lineman to get here. Then Malman could actually let on the safety. But like I said before, no blocking scheme is accounting for safety. All right, so 3-by-1, second down. Hey, this is taking advantage of Northwestern's trips adjustment, where essentially they're playing 4-over-3 because they're so worried about our slot receiver. But a lot of teams, and I do this as well, you play against trips. I'll detach my inside linebacker, and I'll tell him, as long as you can see the B gap and get downhill in the B gap on a run, you can play as wide as you want. We'll play an underfront. The defensive tackle inside in a Y. And on run plays, he's looking to insert here or insert over the top if the block goes away. As the gap opens up, he's just kind of sitting there, no man's land, worried about the glance play RPO, worried about the stick RPO, and not being able to insert on the run. Take a look at it from the box angle. So we're essentially playing 5 in the box, 6 if we include the safety. Allman playing a little high. So what I would be doing here, now again, read is a little different. So you can see we're actually reading out here for RPO. So this is a block, but Malman needs to do a better job of controlling his 7, 9 side shoulder. Everyone else does a pretty good job. Again, this play is set up by the Northwestern trips alignment. So 1st and 10. A 3-by-1. Outside zone this time. Pull it on the RPO. We saw something on the last play. And so what this really is, so we're trying to take the whole shot here. The whole shot is the space between the corner and the safety. And we're just a little bit off page, out of sync on how to slow it down. So Braden Locke thinks he's going to be running a little bit quicker. Vinny Anthony thinks he needs to down a little bit. We're a couple inches off. Now that also being said, I would prefer this being run as an out instead of a hitch or a hole shot, just based on the spacing. Corner's looking to step down inside, so they're playing cover 2 here. So we threaten him to his inside shoulder, break back to the numbers, and then what that does is not only does it give us a throw option, but it could potentially widen him, so then if Braden wants to keep it, good. A little off. That's the right read to keep it there. All right, 2nd and 10. 3-by-1, get a motion stretch across. Let him be an extra man in the power lead. He actually does for his size. Does an okay job. Now his linebacker ends up pulling down Tui by his arm, grabbing and pulling down. But I like to see that Stretch is getting involved in the run game, blocking. pretty solid block by Ashcraft here. A little tentative. Want him to just run. Take a look here. I think we do a better job of getting our tackle down on the backside. Double down. So again, Northwestern's end is squeezing hard. Ballman stays on his feet, and he's able to at least redirect that backside linebacker. And 6 is doing a good job getting downhill. They spill it. Still get 3 yards. 3rd and 7 on the outer edge of a manageable 3rd and 7. 3 by 1. Just before midfield. Pressure is going to get to us. And I think what he's expecting on this scramble rule is what kills them. This is overthinking this. So what he's hoping is that when he scrambles here, that Tretch is going to be working straight across the field. And that our CJ Williams is going to break back to the sideline. And what ends up happening is Tretch kind of powers down. He's expecting to get the ball right there if he's going to get it. So he doesn't. He kind of powers down. And then he just fires into an open hole that nobody's in. Yeah, like, yes, scramble rules. Okay, we're breaking the pocket. I'm taking off to the sideline. I want to get to the numbers. Just inside the numbers here. Okay, I want to break to the sideline. Get just outside the sideline. But it all happens too fast. And we don't react fast enough. Now, that being said, bad punt. Nice tackle. I don't understand the decision. Just throw it away. I can see what he's trying to do. Still don't like the decision. All right. There's that drive down. But again, Badgers defense is stout. We get the ball back starting on the 7-yard line. Okay, coming out, 12 personnel. PH lead. Okay, this time we get a run blitz. And we don't get a very good job of the down block to the linebacker. That's a tough angle for Renfro here. Because shouldn't really have been the one releasing here to begin with. And this is a miscommunication by bad eyes by Jack Nelson. So Jack Nelson's eyes are initially inside here, but he's assuming if we're getting a blitz here that Renfro is going to be able to pick up. I think what they were expecting is Huber to block down, Renfro to block down, and then Renfro is going to get to the. But with the alignment that Northwestern's in, there's no way Huber is going to get to this linebacker. We're working here to here to the backside, but that is way too far for him. Northwestern also slants. So Renfro passes him up, but it hits way too fast for him to pick up that linebacker. And the right defensive call and just chasing the pull on this run blitz. Not a lot we could do. All right. So 2nd and 13. Still 12 personnel. Going to run stretch this time. Simplify it a little bit. Again, Northwestern gets safety coming down from 10 yards deep and fits this pretty well. Take a look at the box. Could we have gotten an extra body off? Not really. Do a pretty good job of climbing. If we want to nitpick, I'm telling Charlie Malman, work here. You can get out in front of this guy. He's going a little bit too vertical, but everyone else sets up pretty good. Who else would it be on this safety? And what this should hopefully set up later is some shots in the play action game. Hill going upfield. So, 3rd and 9. Little zipper motion. Northwestern brings the heat. They're doing a good job of moving their blitzes around and catching the Badgers in their protection. Now, Lee Walker, this is a Braylon Allen-esque pass protection rep. He needs to stay on his feet instead of diving at the ankle, because what it ends up doing is he ends up falling at the feet of Braylon. Now, also, obviously, Jake Renfro short arms this, and it's a low snap. But he could potentially recover if he isn't thinking that 34 is about to land at his toes. We're lucky to see. And that's the end of that drive. But it's still 0-0. Badgers defense is playing offense. Complementary football that every pundit talking about over the weekend. It's true. All right, so now we're going to take the play action shot on 1st and 10. Okay, and what happens? Northwestern bails out. And they commit 7 to the pass. We're working through the progression, play action. And then we're just going to run curl, like a switch release curl at the top with a flat. And we're going to work inside, out, down. And what this would have hit better is if 5 here commits downhill and stays downhill. Instead, he sees it and then bails out, and that's going to take away curl here. By the time we get, or as we're getting set up here, peeking backside, looking to Vinny Anthony. I don't think he sees it. And I think he also sees a dropping linebacker. So that's no good. We just come off, check down. And again, it's the right call in the progression. 0 yards is 2 yards is better than forcing it or throwing it in. All right. 2nd and 8. Run mesh. And again, we're just going to get rid of it quickly because they're playing 4-over-3 on this side. So when we bring the mesh between here, we're still going to be 4-over-3. And then as soon as we see that this corner is turning his shoulder and running with our receiver, we know it's man, and we like the matchup on the linebacker. So this is smart. And this is, again, we would be picking up at this as the first route in the mesh read. So we'd be reading 1, 2 to 3 on this side. As soon as we see man, we know we can get out and get it to the running back. Easy pitch and catch. I take them. Pass protection. Okay. Anyways, here we go. 3rd and 3. Yep. 3-by-1 again. Again, catching Northwestern in their trips adjustment. And even though they're in over front now, playing outside shaded guard, know that this inside backer is worried about tight end up the seam. Or sorry, the slot receiver on the seam. So his first step is outside. Outside. Even though his run gap is A gap to A gap. So he's already out of position. And this double 3-tech look that Northwestern's giving is going to give us two interior linemen that can release. So not only is he out of position, he's going to get met by a guard and a center, and then we're off to the races. Really like the call in this situation. Because you get them by formation, that sets up a run play that we can get. Nice job. All right. 1st and 10, 35-yard line. Has the makings of. All right, we're going to motion, more of a shift. 3-by-1, 10 personnel. And we have 3 in the game. So before we look at the box, bottom of the screen, we're running a little stick combination. I'll snap RPO. If we end up keeping it, which that's on the borderline of wanting to keep it there. Should be there. Let's take a look at the box and see if we made this tackle. Running outside zone. And what we just end up getting, we saw this against Rutgers last week, where the inside backer, the defensive line is running with the outside zone. They're working downhill, and then the inside linebacker is just sitting still, waiting for the cutback. Now, also, I'd like to see Joe Huber engage this a little bit more and instead of just passing off 95, work to his 9 and let Renfro take over. But you allow both of the defensive tackles to get much of a lateral push. That ends up walling us off. And then since 57 stayed home, there was going to be no cutback. Oh, not a great rep all around. But we'll live to see another day. Okay, 2nd and 10. 3-by-1. And we're going to catch them in formation. We do. Okay, so we got quick indie route, 1-on-1 on the outside top of the screen. We got 4-over-4 bubble screen at the bottom. So the read is going to be the inside linebacker. He bails. We go. So it's this little stunt that they run here. Kind of screws up the running lanes for Braden, where he needs to tuck this and get a little more vertical, but because they stunt, kind of has to go around, it really mucks up his line of sight. And we also stand up a little bit too tall on really both sides. So while he does pick a good gap, it's just not in a position where we're going to be able to control the shoulder or the arm of that defensive tackle. I believe we get a penalty. So first down anyway. All right. 3-by-1. Okay, we are in. And not necessarily an overload front, but we're going to set both of our receivers on the line. We can put Tretch off the line, motion them, jet sweep. And I like how they ran this as an influence pull. So inside, we're running center tackle lead. And we're using that to cause the linebackers and the D-line to squeeze. And then we just get the ball out in space. Now, we need to do a better job blocking out in space. Tretch, in particular, just standing there. Praised him earlier for his blocking. Tretch on the jet sweep. Cannot see that. We'll look at it from this angle. What this can be run here, this can actually be run as a read play. Now this is jet sweep all the way, but we could be reading front side here, and if they squeeze, we hand it off of the jet sweep. Don't squeeze, we pull it and keep it behind. We do a pretty good job stretching it out. Yeah, that's Paulie. Okay, 2nd and 11. Okay, we're at the top of the second quarter, but I just want to. All right, so 3-by-1, nub look. We're on inside zone. Get behind the pile and push. Nothing fancy here, just big boy football. Take a look. Shift, little thing, but again, you force Northwestern to show their hand in their adjustment by doing it live. Again, as is with about 50% of our run plays, one of our tackles ground. Ollie Malman ends up getting tripped up. I think Ashcraft steps on his foot. The linebacker that he was meant to climb to ends up getting downfield. All right, 2nd and 8. Okay, there we go. There's the keep. There's the keep we've been looking for. Also really helps at Northwestern had an edge blitz where that flat defender really comes flat down the line, opens up everything, and real smart decision. Again, I have to say it, stop saying it again. To be an effective zone read or read QB, you don't need to keep it 50% of the time. You need to keep it in the right situation that makes them look bad when it's an opportunity to make a good play. And down in the red zone, been a good idea the last couple weeks. Not bad. Let's take a look at the box real quick before we wrap up this video. 12 personnel, inside zone. Runner needs to stay on his feet, obviously. You get a little bit more of a push. On the left side, it's more like we're kind of absorbing than pushing down the field. Maybe that was by design, but good keep, and we're on the board. That is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter, or beginning of the second, but the end of this video anyways, with the Badgers up 7 to slowly but surely started to impose our will, finding something in the Northwestern defense. Made some mistakes, but luckily the defense was playing lights out in this first quarter, and we're able to be out on top going in second. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.